to the show where stories unfold.
Let's go.
People doing big things, breaking the mold. They're changing the game, making waves every day.
Big move.
Shining bright with the work that is well.
Shine on.
This is Breaking the Silence with Nick
Nick Nicole in the building.
Unleash your inner voice and make some
Turn
noise.
up. Welcome to the Breaking the Silence podcast with Arthur and Nick Nicole. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tell your cousin, tell your friend, tell your neighbor to come over here and break the silence with Arthur and Nick Nicole. Welcome to another powerful episode. Sit back and relax. Enjoy the conversation.
Welcome back to another Transformation Tuesday, where transparency turns pain into power and stories become stepping stones towards healing. I'm your host, Arthur Nikki Nicole, and this is the space where we honor the journey, no matter how messy it gets. This is episode 2 of Built with Broken Wings, the strength I didn't ask for. I'm opening up about moments life handed me, battles I never saw coming, and the strength I never thought I had to fight through them. This episode is for anyone who's ever felt like they were thrown into the fire without warning and expected to rise when they barely had the strength to stand. This is about the strength, the kind of strength that doesn't come from choice, but it comes from survival, from faith, from showing up one more time when you didn't think you could. All right, y'all. So, true story. This was in the year of 2016. I had been offered a job in another state, North Carolina, and they actually paid for my relocation and everything. And at the time in my life, I was going through some things, and I was like, you know what? This came at the right time. And at the time, my wife wasn't my wife. My wife was my fiance at the time. No, we were married. I take that back. We was married for a year at that time. So I was like, you know what? All right, let's do it. So we moved to this little town. I mean, when I tell you little town, now I was already staying in the little town of Mullen, South Carolina, and we moved to this even smaller town to live called Warsaw, North Carolina. And, in the beginning, it was like, okay, all right, well, this is kind of like back home. So, I can get used to this. But I had to travel. I had to travel about 15 minutes to work, maybe 15, 20 minutes to work to Clinton, North Carolina. And at the time, I was a manager at a fast food restaurant. Now, when we first moved there, my income seemed like it was enough in the beginning, of course. And my wife, was certified in the medical field in South Carolina. But when we got to North Carolina, to her surprise, she had to go back again to school and get recertified. We didn't know that in the beginning. So for a while, it was pretty much my income and my income alone. And it became a struggle, like a real struggle, to the point where I lost my transportation, ended up having to get another car. We lost the place that we were staying in. Like, we went through so much during this period of time. And had I had known things that I found out later, we probably wouldn't have suffered as much as we did. But we were homeless. When I say homeless, for about a year. Just living in the car. Some days it would be no food, no money. Nothing. And if we had anything left or anything, to spare, of course, my daughter had to eat. So we would go days without eating because she had to eat. Showers at truck stops. Yeah. And you had to pay for those. Those showers at the truck stops are not free. So we would have to literally pay for a shower, one shower, maybe two, and we would share that one shower room so we could take showers. Or we would go to friends' houses and we would take showers there. Sometimes, people would open their doors to us and let us, stay the night at their house to have somewhere warm, to have somewhere safe, to be able to wash and take care of ourselves. Thankfully, I was working at a fast food restaurant because on my days that I worked, at least, we were able to eat, all day, basically. And during the time I was at work, of course, if when my daughter wasn't at school, most of the time I worked at night. So um, she ended up getting a job there too with me. So most of the time they have to sit out in the parking lot until I get off work. Let me tell you something. We found out about this extended stay hotel, and it had, the bathroom, the kitchen set up, everything like that. When we found out about that, and it was in Fayetteville. Now this was Fayetteville was like an hour maybe away from where we were currently. Well, we didn't have a place to stay really, so an hour away from Clinton. So end up getting my daughter in school in Fayetteville, and we would drive back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, take her to school and stuff. And one day we found out about this extended stay. Got enough money up, where you can pay by the week or by the month and, pay it that way. So we got up enough money, I believe, to pay for a month. When I tell you, when we walked into that room, it was like heaven on earth, literally. You learn to appreciate the small things in your life when you go without having something in your life. Let me say that one more time. You learn to appreciate the small things in your life when you go without it. Running water, hot water, a bed to sleep on, heat, air, able to buy food from the grocery store and cook it and have a home cooked meal. These type of things, when they happen to you, it humbles you. Because just like that, things can happen in your life and put you in a whole different ball game, a whole different situation that you didn't ask for and you didn't even see coming. And this is where that strength comes from. This was the strength I didn't ask for. This is the strength I didn't know I had to have. But regardless, I kept pushing. I kept praying. I kept hoping that one day, just one day, we'll be able to see above water. Now, this was just the beginning. We stayed there for quite some time until the point where we ended up getting a job. We both had jobs there. And we were doing really good at that time because our room was free. So we were able to kind of get things caught up, get some savings a little bit and everything during that period of time. Things seemed to be looking up, until a point where everybody pretty much was staying there with us. And we saved up enough to get our own place. Okay. Got our own place and we never looked back. So the moral of this story is people go through things sometimes, and sometimes those things can seem so difficult to get through. Because I'm telling you, I don't know if this was the hardest period in my life, But at the time, I didn't tell nobody what was going on. I didn't tell my mother. I didn't tell anybody. We just went through it. We went through it, got through it, prayed, did what we had to do. Didn't want anybody to feel sorry for us. Didn't want to have to ask anybody for no handouts, because there's a never ending story to asking somebody for something. Because then you got to tell them everything that you're going through. And I don't really like to do that, even with this series of Built with Broken Wings. I thought long and hard about doing this series. It was brought to my attention that, you know what, you need to, share your personal life a little bit. And I'm big on, I don't want to tell everybody my business. But at the end of the day, I went through it. I overcame it. I learned some valuable lessons within it. And I'm here to tell you that if you're out there going through the same thing, it's going to be all right. It's just a storm passing through. And if you keep believing that God is going to bring you out of it, guess what? He's going to do just that. And he's going to humble you so much that you will never, ever look at life the same. Never. But this is the reason why I stay so humble, because I went without the simple things in life, and I appreciated it more when I had it again. I don't care how you look at it. You need lights. You need water. You need food. You need Wi-Fi now. Wi-Fi has become a necessity in our lives. Can't do nothing without Wi-Fi. And life can get hard sometimes. And that's when you know that you are stronger than you thought you was. Because you got through this, you went through this, and you got through it all. Because why? You remained strong. You kept your faith. You prayed to God, and he delivered. So if you are going through a storm in your life right now in this moment, know that God never took his hands off of you. But sometimes we have to go through things in order for us to get to the next level in our life. It's in order for us to cross the bridge to our success. We have to have failure, heartache, and pain to get to where we want and need to be in life. And we have to be okay with that. We have to be. So if you're somebody that's going through this right now, never take your eyes off God. Never stop praying. Never stop believing. Because this too shall pass. It shall pass. And you're going to be okay. So keep your head up. Don't beat yourself up so much. Don't. You're not weak because it hurts. You're not broken because you're tired. And you're definitely not alone. But somehow, some way, you are still able to carry on. So as you go through your day to day, remind yourself of the strength that you've endured, the pain that you've endured, and the strength that you had within you to continue to move in your life, to continue to rise to the top, to continue to walk the path that God had you on from the beginning. You just didn't know it. Sometimes we get off track. We take detours. We take shortcuts in our lives. But it's okay, because I'm a true believer of you will never stray away from where you're supposed to be. Your teachings, your lessons, everything that your parents taught you is always going to come back full force. So as you go through your day and your week, know that you are worth it. And know that you're not alone. And I hope that you will tune in next week for another episode of Built with Broken Wings. Stay strong, stay inspired, and continue to use your voice for positivity. later. Transformation isn't a one-time glow up. It's messy. It's quiet. And sometimes it's just getting up one more time when you don't feel like it. So if you're still in the middle of it, if you're tired, uncertain, maybe even doubting yourself, just know this: you're not behind. You're becoming. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Keep building. Broken wings still fly. If this hits home, share it with someone who's still in the process. And don't forget to hit that subscribe. We grow together out here. Later.